Wait. All right, everybody. It is time. It is Sunday night. It is All Things Fantasy Grounds Talk Show. We are here, and we're gonna get started, and we're gonna give away some prizes later. So everything's all very exciting. Just before we start, let me do the disclaimer, which we always like to do. All Things Fantasy Grounds Talk Show is meant to teach and help, but the opinions stated by the co-hosts of the show are not those of Smiteworks USA LLC or Fantasy Grounds, because we're not official. We're just having fun and teaching people stuff, but we don't want to get in trouble in case we say anything that's bad. Welcome to my co-host, Miss Furied Fate. How are you?
I'm good. I'm napped, refreshed, ready to talk. Hopefully, talk. Yeah, I can talk.
All right, awesome. Yeah. A little behind the scenes. She just woke up like 3 minutes ago. And also, Leroon will not be with us tonight. He informed me earlier today that he is not feeling well at all, and so he will not be on the show tonight. And we wish him to get well, and he'll be back with us next week. Um, so tonight's subject, yes, it's going to be very exciting. We are going to be talking about two extensions tonight, and I'll show you the extensions here in the in the Windows list. So the first one is called Roll for Initiative, and I have it highlighted here. The actual name of the extension, if you download it from the Fantasy Grounds forums, is 5e underscore roll underscore 4 underscore initiative. As a matter of fact, I would like to just say a personal belief of mine. I wish that all the authors of extensions for Smiteworks would get together and establish some sort of like standardized naming of the extensions, because I use a lot of them. I've got about like 45 of them in here, and they're all just jacked up with their
All over the
names.
place.
Yeah, they're all over the place. Anyway, 5e roll for initiative, and then the other one we're going to talk about here is weapon handling. And those can be found on the forums. If I was a better co-host of a show, I would have had links for you, but I just remembered it, and so you guys can just search for those names anyway and find them. So, it's not that I prepared the links or anything, did I? No, this is last week's show. Okay, well, I'm screwed. I just woke up 3 minutes ago from my nap, so what do you want? All right, so the first one we'll go over is Roll for Initiative. And remember that when you sign on to Fantasy Grounds, you're going to click those extensions and install them when you open your table, because extensions are individual to whatever campaign you're using. And if you have the Roll for Initiative, or RFI for short, extension installed, it'll give you this little Roll for Initiative. It'll add that to your buttons up here. And it looks like a little 20-sided die, maybe, is what that is. And so if you open it up, it looks like this. And let me shorten that up a little bit. There we go. So this is a pretty cool thing. Now, the first thing you have to do is you have to populate this with your players that are in your campaign, and it will put in here anybody that's in the party sheet. So I'll open the party sheet. We'll see that there's nobody there. So we'll throw a couple characters in there. This guy and this guy. So you see it put them in there. So that's cool. Now, this is really simple. It's got a lot of options, but it's a really simple thing that you can use. So we'll go through it button by button, and if you guys have questions, let us know. And Fury, if you have a question, you let me know, and we'll figure it out. So select all PCs. That seems pretty simple. You can push a button and it'll select them all, or you can unselect them, and then if you want to just do one, you can select that individual person, whatever it is. You can do that. Oh, interesting. If you mouse over it, it
The little
de
thing goes away.
yeah, de-highlights it, but then if you move it away, it's back. Okay, so um, this is obviously for DM use only, and it will do this. It will put things in the chat window for these players that are here. So if you wanted to, say for example, ask a player to roll a stealth check, you could click their thing. Oh, sorry, not a stealth, but a strength check. You could click their things and just do that, and request roll, and Oh, you know what I should do? Here. I'll do it. I'll do it. Unless you want to do it, Fury. Do you want to connect to the table, or should I just do a local thing? And
I can connect to the table. That way I can fuck around some more.
yeah. Okay.
I mean, not screw shit up.
Okay. So let me have you connect to my table. Do you have my alias, or shall I give it to you?
Um, God
It's in
damn
the
it.
it's in the 5e pickup chat.
Oh, okay. Then yeah,
Yeah.
I can do that.
So we'll have her because then we'll be able to show how this works. Because then when the player rolls their check, it populates it here for the DM. So it's a really cool thing. But while she's connecting, which she just has, excellent. And then, Fury, if you want, I will clear owner on both characters that are in
Oh,
the.
I want to be the dinosaur.
You can be both of them.
Oh, well, okay, sure.
Yeah. What's up?
I can
Oh,
multitask, I think.
right now, what's interesting is I don't have a way to close this window. Oh, that's kind of interesting.
What if you deselect strength for abilities?
Yeah, it doesn't do that either.
Oh, I guess you're just gonna have to
Oh,
roll
so
with it.
that might be a thing that you have to deal with the extension. Oh, you can. Okay, I can roll them myself, and then it'll clear the window. Okay, so good. So now that we know that, all right. So as soon as you get those up there, we'll have you roll them. But what's really cool is if the player doesn't roll it, the DM can roll it.
Then, in case somebody, goes to the bathroom, cigarette break, whatever. Ooh,
Right.
yeah, that pops up on my window too. Oh
Okay.
shit,
So,
you can press it twice.
yeah. So let me just get all. Let's get crazy here.
Oh, I have to roll a
Okay,
lot of
so
shit
now,
down.
yeah, so
Okay.
there might I because I screwed that all up, it's probably not gonna let me because now I'm trying to do it and it's not working. So let me let's just everybody calm down. Uh, I'm gonna. It might have something to do with you connected and the controls shifted from me to you. So let's just repopulate this and we'll try that again. All right. So I'm gonna select all PCs, click strength, and then request roll. Did you get anything?
Yeah, it popped up, but see, it's funny because it kind of just like logs every time you press something. So I have like three strength rolls and then a dexterity roll and then like another strength.
Yeah, so we might have. I didn't think about that. This is good to know though, because this might be something that people need to know about the extension. Uh, it might not work like it's not working for me now because I did it and then you connected and then it wasn't. Yeah, see, it's not popping up the window. There they all go. Holy shit. Yeah, I just got all those results over there, but it's not popping up the window here. So I'm assuming that there's not necessarily a flaw. I don't know if you can call something a flaw if the user isn't using it right, so that's probably just my fault. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the table and it's going to kick you off and then we'll come back and lesson learned. So if you're using this extension, everybody, which we will see is cool when I finally show you how it works, my suggestion is make sure that you don't start using it until all of the players are on the table and ready to go. And that you don't, uh, have somebody connect late and then you put them in and you saw what I did. So basically tonight's show begins at 10 after the hour because I just
Because
did
I
all that.
woke up like 3 minutes before the
No,
show,
but
so
I,
I'm
I,
up.
I don't think I would have known that. I don't think I would have discovered that even if we had talked before the show. I doubt I would have even noticed that.
That's
I
true. I
have
mean, this is something definitely that you wouldn't have noticed until it actually happened. And
right, and I
yeah, I
have
mean,
used this in games, and it's always worked nice. But I don't think the situation of me using it and then someone logging onto the table and then I couldn't get it to work again. That's never happened to me, so that was like a unique situation. Uh,
it's like the off. Obvious
Oh, and
excuse. This has
that's a
never happened to me before.
yeah, I know, that's fine. It's only when you're on a live show. Okay, so go ahead and reconnect. Diablo Bob is saying he's pretty sure it got updated. I don't know if I think I have the most recent update, but I'm not really sure. While she's
Well, you
logging
check
on.
on your folder on the date last time it was updated.
Yeah,
Because,
let's
I mean, it
let's
would download, or the date would change when the update happened, like for downloads or something.
Oh, so September 4th. Well, here, let's just go get the newest update.
Well, fuck. Let me disconnect from the table.
Yeah, disconnect. I because I'll. So this is a happy show, everybody. We don't edit. We don't fuck around. When this fucking shit happens live, that's it. That's the show you get. We're not editing anything.
We're
Uh,
learning as we go, all
that's right.
together, holding hands, kumbaya, motherfuckers.
Kumbaya, motherfuckers. So here, let me sign out of Fantasy Grounds, and then I'll go. And this will be good though, because what do you have to do? You have to go uh, roll for initiative, Fantasy Grounds extension, right in Google. I didn't spell it right, but it's close enough. Google's pretty smart. There it is.
Uh, and just so everybody knows, this is the Rob 2E's way of searching for things on the Fantasy Grounds forums.
Yeah,
He doesn't
you
use actual search
no.
engine in the
If you go
forums.
to
He
the
does
right,
Google.
if you go to the Fantasy Grounds forums and use this search function, almost always you can never find what you're looking for. If you put it in Google, instantly you get the link that you need. So this was updated December 24th. Yeah. So I have one that's 3 months older than that. So let's just go to my extensions folder. Fantasy Grounds. Oops. Fantasy Grounds extensions. Download it. Replace it. Very good. Uh, that's a very nice picture. And then I will go back and open Fantasy Grounds again. I will start the campaign, and this time when Fury logs on, everything will be perfect and it will all work, and it'll be so much fun. All right. Just since we have the opportunity to show it, you want to make sure, of course, that you have the extension installed, which I have Roll for Initiative here, and then Weapon Handling's also here. I have a bunch of other ones, but all right. So as soon as the table gets up, she'll be able to log back on, and we'll get on it. Is anybody saying anything in there? How many people are making fun of me?
All of
Drake,
them. They're
Drake,
starting a whole campaign against you, and I'm just kidding.
nice. Drake takes it. I Google that shit too. That's how you do it. Drake takes says I tried it and did not like it. Are you talking about this extension, the RFI extension? All of us. I know, McClancy. You're awesome. I wonder if that's what he's talking about.
I think
It's
so too. Wait,
it's
no, he's
kind of
talking about
it's kind of unnecessary. That's the only thing that you are displaying to the players, but unless they have issues with math. It's also good for people that are new to Fantasy Grounds. So like for example, you're starting a campaign with all noobs and they don't know how to play, then this is an easy way to do it. Oh, look. What the fuck? There's new shit here. Look at this. Modifiers and whatnot. I never saw that before. So I got the new
ooh.
version. So we'll wait for Fury to connect, and then we'll see if this works. What I like about it is um, it's like here in the party sheet, the DM can roll checks for all the players, but but basically the Fantasy Grounds does it automatically, and this way you can ask the players to do it. So that's nice.
You said the weapon handling was up to date as well.
Weapon
The
handling, I think let's see what date I have for that. January 9th. So,
sounds recent enough.
yeah, let's go see. Um,
Boffin's just asking, since I'm connecting to the table.
well, if I was any kind of fucking show host, I would have checked this. Let's see when that last date was. January 9th. Okay, so I do. I have the one from that day. Usually I'm pretty good about that because I'll get an email saying, "Hey, somebody said something about this," and then I go check to see if it needs it. So I do have the most recent one of that.
Okay. And yeah, Digital Profit, there is a spreadsheet because Rob 2E has a fetish for spreadsheets of all the tips and tricks. You can then search it on Twitter, and there's like a whole link and everything.
Oh yeah, if you're talking, is he talking about the?
Yeah, he's asking for a spreadsheet or PDF of the tips and tricks
Oh
spreadsheet.
no, so there's not
Oh,
there's not a,
I
there's
thought there
not a
was a product
there
key for
is,
it.
but that's not public. That's not public information because it's got a lot of proprietary crap in it that I can't show anybody.
Oh.
But you can look at all those tips. As a matter of fact, our last couple shows we talked about that. You want to search on Twitter. I'll put it in the chat for you. Keep. It's so hard to not put the spaces in between the words. So that hashtag is what you want to search, even though Facebook is not typically use hashtags. They do, but it's not typical. But either on Facebook or on Twitter, you can type in that phrase, hashtag Fantasy Grounds Friday tip. And it's important to include the word tip with that because if you just do Fantasy Grounds Friday hashtag alone, you're also going to get the show, the Friday Twitch show that Dave does. You're going to get all those too. So if you add tip, it'll just weed out those. And you can search on Twitter or Facebook and just the tip
Yeah,
just for a
just a
minute.
tip.
All right, are you in there? Are you choosing your characters?
It's doing that whole booting up thing because you had to update it. Then it had to update for me, so it's like okay.
Okay, gotcha. Plus, I'm running the 3.3.8, which anybody can do if you run the test version. So I'm running the version of Fantasy Grounds that isn't out yet, but I always do that
Oh.
just to see what they and it's, quite frankly, except for uh, pre-generated characters. You know how you can search now here in the characters, and also the characters that you have will be alphabetized there, so they're easier to find. You can now do that in pre-generated characters as well. So that pre-gen module I made with 261 characters, I can fucking find what I need. It was insane. But okay, so there she is. Okay. So we're gonna try that again. I'm gonna select all PCs. I'm gonna choose strength, and then I'm gonna request roll. Now wait a minute. How come it didn't pop up for me? Where the fuck is it? What's going on?
It popped up fine for me.
Yeah, but remember it didn't. So it didn't pop up for me, and that's
So maybe
odd.
that's the thing now that
Oh,
you
I
don't.
wonder I wonder if I just don't know how to use it. I wonder if it pops up for me only if the players aren't connected, which is what
So let
happened.
me release example druid, and then
Okay.
you can claim it and see if it pops up.
All right, that's a good idea. All right. So, let's try that again. Oh, so that is true. Okay. So, she has Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I did giant vulture. You did say example druid. I'm such an idiot.
It's okay. I take back the druid.
So, so anyway, but you guys can see how that works. So,
Everybody's yelling at you to read the fucking manual.
yeah, well, the thing is, I have. By the way, if you click the question mark here, there is a there is a thing there. It's not really a manual, but it is a manual actually. There's a manual that tells you how to do. So if you don't want to watch, if you don't want to learn from me, you can fucking read the manual. But the reason I didn't read it is because I've used this many times in many different games, and it's never I've never
But it's
had a
nice that
problem.
it adds that little X so you can actually close out the rolls. Like, oh shit,
Yeah,
I
I
didn't mean
did
to do
like
that.
that because I couldn't close it before. So let's try that again. Let's clear the chat. You've got that character. Let's try a strength save this time. Select all characters, strength save. Strength and dexterity. Can we do two? No, you can't. Okay, just one. Okay. So it's asking.
Well, can't you just click on dexterity after you click on the strength, and it should pop up
It
in my thing to roll?
no, it only lets you do. I think. Yeah, you can only choose one. So there's hers, and then I can roll this one for me. Okay, so now we got it going. All right. Jesus. And uh so there's ability checks, there's saving throws that you can do, and you can ask for I guess this would be combat rolls. So you can say I want the players to roll just an attack roll. Please roll an attack roll, and I'm going to say you're all at a -5, and you all have disadvantage as well. So request that, and then I can roll it. There's my disadvantage -5, and then she rolled it, and yeah. So that's pretty cool, and it's obviously powerful if you have like 6 players. You can also then ask for any type of skill check. So let's say, hey, everybody that's there, roll a perception check, please. That's a pretty common one. So I can do it for that character, and she can do it for hers, and pretty cool. And then obviously, everyone, you don't have to see, rather than having to say roll for initiative, you can say roll for initiative, but you can also then do that, and then you'll see here uh, who hasn't done it. Now that's the thing I thought was happening before, was I thought it put everybody's thing in there, but apparently it only puts a thing in here if it's somebody that you control or the DM controls, and then it goes away when the person does it. So it's basically like a window forced upon all the players, like, hey, do this. Uh, so there you go. Some people might not like. Obviously, there's a couple people watching the show right now that aren't very impressed with this, but I really like it, uh, especially if you have to ask all your players to make checks, and instead of doing it like, if I want to say all my players make a strength check with a DC of 12, then I can just roll that, and it'll do it automatically for all the people. So it did it for the druid and the vulture. But this way, you can ask the players to do it, and they feel a little bit more ownership because they are actually making the rolls. So there you go. That's how you use that. And I think the Stalker is the guy that made this extension. He also made weapon handling. We asked him to come on the show. I really wish he would have, because he would have done a much better job than I would have explaining the extension. However, he was very nice. We asked him to come on the show, and he just refused. And his reasoning was that his English is not his first language, so he was a little nervous and apprehensive about coming on the show, being on a live show when English is not his first language, and he felt uncomfortable with that. So I understood, and I said okay, and he said, but please, yeah, please have it on the show. I don't have any problem with that. And actually, what was funny is that his emails to me, where he was telling me about how he didn't speak English very well, were all perfectly written, and I was like, well, but some people don't want to come on live stream. I get it. So,
Well, maybe it's one of those things where he can type it out well, write it well, read it well, but verbally speaking is like a challenge.
yeah, because more than likely, most people
He's using
who,
Google Translate.
well, no, I wasn't going to say that. He might be, but most people who learn a second language or third languages, they you always you think, and you dream, and you always do everything in your brain as in your first language, right? And then you translate. And if you're doing that live while you're speaking it, sometimes you're slower with it or whatever. So um
Oh,
but yeah.
sorry. Drake was saying that there's the DC part in this middle section that you can change as well, so you don't have to actually use the party sheet ever again.
Oh,
Just
good.
kidding.
Okay, so yeah, you can. Well, the party sheet's good if you want to do it. If you don't want the players, if you're like, I'm just gonna do this automatically and screw those players, they're gonna get what I give them. But if you want to let them do it, you can go, hey everybody, let's see, I'll type in DC 12. Everyone, please do a medicine check, and then it actually puts the DC, and a 22 is a success, and a 21's a success. So that's really cool. I'm glad. Thanks, Drake. I don't know that I would have gone as far as that. But that's super cool. Oh, I guess you can't unclick these. But I think which is probably good, because then when you click the next thing, it changes. So you can't really like click on it and then unclick it. It always just stays there. But yeah, if you want to do ask the players to make a death save, then I'm sure that tells you success. Oh no, it doesn't. Interesting. But what if you put DC 10? It should do that automatically, I would think. And maybe that's something he can add into the extension.
It doesn't,
Yeah,
mark on the
it
character sheet though.
it it does do it.
No, it doesn't. It's not marking on the character sheet whether it was a success or fail. But maybe that's
Uh
because I'm still alive. So let's kill me real quick.
oh, you know what? That's a good point. What if
All right, I just dropped down my hit points. So if you
okay,
did a death save, for example, Druid.
let me do that too. Oh, I'm not, my numbers lock isn't on. Okay. All right, so let's do death save. Everybody do that.
Oh, yep, it marked
Oh,
it.
it does. Okay, so basically you can't cheat. You can't just do it as, you have to actually
Can't
be,
cheat death, y'all.
yeah. And so that's pretty awesome. And yeah, so then we'll show where it actually did check the success there. And the example druid got, or I mean the giant vulture got a failure, so there's the failure right there. So yeah, that does work. That's really cool. I'm liking all that. Now, of course, when I DM, my death saves are automatic. The machine rolls for you, so you panic and freak out. But
Walking dude, I'm sorry you may have gotten here late, but Rob doesn't have an official link or anything. What he does, he Google searches Roll for Initiative extension Fantasy Grounds. That's how he finds the links. I'm sorry, did I put that? Did I embarrass you?
no, I'm laughing because all you're doing is telling the fucking exact truth. I don't fuck around with you. But I'm gonna put the link in there now because enough people have. So here's the link for the that's the one for Roll for Initiative. What's funny too is my Google, you know, my my Chrome browser saves previous searches, so it's really, I type in weapon and there it is. So here's the one for uh because honestly, I have so many bookmarks, it's insane. And if I bookmarked these, I can literally find it faster just by searching it in Google than I can wading through my bookmarks and drilling down, D&D, fantasy grounds, bookmark, like it fucking take me forever. So here's the one for weapon handling, which we're going to cover next. So I think, and you guys can obviously download that extension. That's just an introduction to it. We didn't do every single thing you can do on it, but it pretty much explains how you can get your players to roll things. And like Fury said before, if somebody went and grabbed coffee and that you weren't aware they were AFK, which is a huge faux pas, then you can request the roll. When they come back, there's going to be a big thing on their screen saying roll, roll whatever, and then as soon as they get back, they'll catch up. So that's just a very useful tool. And again, some people might not like it or find it necessary, but I
Or
really
they're a
like
new
that it's.
player and they don't know where the fuck shit is on their character sheet yet.
Oh yeah, roll a medicine check. Oh, what? How do you? What do I do? Okay, okay. Oh, and then the DM's like, open your character sheet, go to the skills tab, go find medicine, and then go over and you see where the dice is. You see where the plus number is. Double click on that, and then So yeah, this way they just have to click one thing and it's done.
So then players can be even lazier than they already are.
That's right. It makes it
Not that players are
easier.
lazy, but
No, they are. Everybody's lazy. But yeah, to be able to have a thing pop up on your screen and all you do is click the thing and it rolls it. That's like super fast. It actually can, even for very experienced players, that type of thing can facilitate faster play, because even as an experienced player, I still have to go, okay, what a skills tab, okay, medicine, and then I have to read, okay, here's medicine, and it took me like 5 seconds. Whereas if somebody does this, I click, it's instant. It's just done. So I like it. Okay, we're gonna go move on to the other extension, and we're gonna Diablo Bob says
Wait,
I'm super lazy.
Drake was just asking, so it would work easy on one player that has its shooting monster behind cover? So yeah, I mean, if you're shooting a
Oh,
monster behind cover, you could add with the
yes,
modifiers, the -2, the -5.
right. So let's see. Yeah. So if I
Because I
say,
mean, you would do the attack based on the only thing though is when you're doing for attack stuff, I don't know if it will because I was just thinking about it, if it includes like the modifiers for attacks for like if I did a what am I proficient with? Like a strength attack or something.
yeah, this isn't gonna work for that, and the reason is there's no thing for me to pick here involving attacks. It's all just ability saves, saving throws, checks, modifiers for those, or skill checks as well. And so, but there's no way for me to ask for you to roll an attack. So this isn't what that's used for. So that's a very good question, but the answer is no, that won't work. Because if I request roll, I'm not requesting any type of attack. There's nowhere to do that here. And so yeah. All right. Any other questions about this? So could you have all NPCs roll stuff together easily? Yeah, that's the whole point.
Wait,
So
for
you
NPCs as well, not just players.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nope, I read that as PCs. Yeah, NPCs. No. This again. This is. I wonder if they're just asking questions for because that seems like super obvious that the answer is no to that. Uh, so yeah, this is only for your players, only for people connected to your table. And then if a player's in the party sheet but no players attached to it, it will obviously ask the DM will get that one. See how I don't get the druid. I only get this one. And so if for example, uh I don't think I needed to restart Fantasy Grounds. All I needed to do was know how the extension worked. Because if I now take away this character from Furied and bring it back to me, I'm assuming when I hit this button, it's going to put both of them there. Yeah, see? So this DM will get any character that's not owned, and the players who own their characters, and Furied, if you want to take one back, I redid it. Uh, they'll get that they'll get the window there. So yeah, it's for PCs only, and I think that answers that. Oh, Diablo Bob wants you to mark that you're AFK, and then I'll try it and see if you still get it. I'm assuming she would, but that's a great question.
Let's see what happens.
All right, she's marked AFK, so I'm going to request her to roll initiative.
Yeah, it pops up on
Ah,
my screen. Does it pop up for
yes.
you?
It does.
Nice.
Well, no, for the other one. For the other one. Yeah, so right, so when she came back, she would know, oh my god, I missed initiative, and there she rolled it. Boom, it's done. And the DM doesn't have to say, "Are you back? Did you roll initiative?" When she gets back, she's gonna roll it. So that's cool. Uh, Walking Dude makes a good point. This extension would be very useful for solo play. So, um, if
So you
you're
can solo play with multiple characters.
yeah, exactly. If you had a few characters, or even if you're just doing one, if you're doing one of the solo adventures, it's all right here as opposed to having to dig through your character sheet. Everything's just right here. The only thing you need your character sheet for is the attacks. Everything else is right here. So yeah, that's a good point. That's cool. All right, I think we covered that pretty well. Uh, if you guys have other questions, we'll go back to it. Otherwise, I'm going to give away a prize, and then we'll move on to the other extension. So let's do that. Keyword Rob Tui. If you want to win a prize, enter exclamation Rob Tui. And what I'm giving away is any item on the DM's Guild that has my name on it, whether I made it or whether it's a collaboration with another author. But no packages today. Just any single item that you'd like to get, which still means you can get a lot of cool things. Um, Go ahead and I'll start a 2-minute timer on that, and then if you guys want to enter, go ahead and do it. Keep in mind, everybody, that if you win a prize from me, that's your prize. You can't say to me, "Oh, I always win." You know what? Never mind. I just entered because it's fun to type it in the chat, and I want to see if I win. But please pass that prize to another person or give it away. No, if you win, that's yours, and if you're not claiming it, it does. Nobody gets it.
Non-refundable, non-exchangeable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Can't store it in the guild bank, whatever.
Your free prize that costs you nothing is non-refundable and it's non-transferable. That's a good. Yeah, I'm gonna say that from now on. Non-transferable. All right, so we'll let that timer run out. Meanwhile, we will look at the weapon handling, which
Yeah,
I
that
think
one
is
loaded up.
really cool. Yeah, I do. Uh, so I'll open up example druid and does well you'll probably you don't need to do it. You can just follow me. So this is also made by Stalker. Same guy that made RFI made this one. And this is really cool because normally the big pain with Fantasy Grounds has always been if you want to have an offhand weapon, you had to go to your inventory. Say for example, short sword. You'd have to rename your short sword offhand. Open the items, drag in another short sword, and you'd have one short sword called short sword and the other one called short sword offhand, and come over here, and then you'd have two of them. But with the weapon handling extension, it actually gives you some symbols here that you can change, and so we'll go through those in a minute. I think we should be able to give away the prize by now. Oh, 10 seconds. Last chance to get it in, everybody. Well, probably I say that, and then the delay is
Right.
10
It's done.
seconds,
It's
so
over.
it's over.
Done with.
All right, so we'll draw a winner here, and
You know,
our
I was just
winner.
thinking about is Stranger, if he could change for the ready for initiative or roll for initiative, if he could change it so when people mark as AFK that it pops up for the DM, so that way he can just roll for these assholes that are gone. I mean, for the players that step away
Yeah,
from the table.
that's a good suggestion. I like that. We'll see if he can do that. By the way, his name is Stalker, not Stranger. I see how you would conflate those, but it's all the same. It's all the same.
All the same.
It's a guy peeking in your window either way. All right, so the winner is George Orr. Very good, George Orr. That is my birth name, by the way. I was born Robert Orr, ORR. So maybe we're cousins. That's awesome. So George, I don't think you've won a prize before.
He seems
So
new. That's a new name to
yeah,
me.
he seems new, so welcome. But he is a follower, so that's good. Sometimes when that comes up a red thumbs down, and we make fun of the person. So I'm gonna put the Discord link. So George, hey, only I get to call my players asshole. So George, click on that Discord link, and then once you get in there, send me a private message. And he says, yeah, I haven't, and yep, I'm new. So send me a private message in the Discord, and then just say, hey, Rob, I won a prize on the show tonight, and then I will send you a link that you can. I'll tell you how to claim your prize. There's a whole process, and it makes it easy for you. And I've got it all set up. It's all done in a spreadsheet. I'm just kidding. So congrats, George, and then just go ahead and send me that PM, and we'll get you taken care of. So weapon handling. So instead of having to have two short swords, you can have a short sword. And you see here that if I hover over this, it says one-handed. If I click on it, it says offhand. It changes it to a little red sideways hand, and it removes the modifier. So everything's all automatic. So if you watch here in this box, 1d6 piercing, it's going to add and remove the modifier every time I click on it. So pretty cool. So, and you can still hotkey your stuff. You can still say, okay, I'm going to have my one-handed attack and my one-handed damage down here, and then I'm going to change to offhand, and I'm going to key that one and key that damage as well. And you can still do that. So you don't need to have offhand on your character sheet. You can just use the one. So let me
Which I
erase these.
noticed on Friday's game, Joe Numbers had it. So I was like, oh, look at this fancy shit.
Yeah,
But I do, what is it, two weapon fighting or something. So I was like, oh wait, I can change it. So I do get my modifier back to just put them both as like main hand weapons.
Yeah, absolutely. Or you could just use the one, you know, two different times. But
Well, I have one that's a +1 and one that's a +2, so
okay, gotcha. Uh,
magic weapons.
so here's a battle axe. I have a shield, so I'm using it one-handed. So there you go. And it's a versatile weapon. So if I use it with two-handed, it'd be 1d10. So keep your eye right here. When I change it to two-handed, oh, 1d10. Back to 1d8, 1d10, 1d10. You know, so not only do you so used to with versatile weapons, you either had to make a different one or you had to go in here and go, oh Jesus, and make it a D10, you know, whatever. So now you don't have to do that anymore. Just one-handed or two-handed. So uh, the thing that would be super cool that I don't know if it does, which I doubt it does, and I'm just thinking of, I've never thought of this until this second, is shields off. Okay, it doesn't do that. That would be cool, as if you clicked it and it removed your shield automatically. That would be awesome. But that's not mutually exclusive. Like, you know, you might have some special feat that lets you, um, you might have a crazy feat that lets you fight with a two-handed weapon and a shield. You know, I don't know. So that would screw that up. But anyway, there you go. And then your the crossbow light is a two-handed weapon. So I'm clicking on this and it doesn't change because there is no other option for the light crossbow. It's either two-handed or not. So you can't click it and change it. So that's a really cool, useful little tool. Again, just a simple thing that makes the game better. And that extension is also made by Stalker or Stranger. If you want to
Stranger
try to
Stalker.
find, yeah, if you he spells his name like he does it with kind of leet speak. So I think his thing looks like this. I think that's how his name looks. ST4LK3R Stalker. He does it with leet speak or whatever the kids are doing now. Stalker, 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 stalker. Um, so that's the guy that makes the extensions. And that's pretty much it for that one. If you have it installed, these hands will always be here for all the weapons. And your choices are one-handed, offhand, two-handed, or one hand. Yeah. So I think that's the only things you would ever use.
You know, Walking Dude does make a good point. One thing that would be useful is to have an indication somewhere on the Actions tab whether or not you have your shield equipped. But I mean, you can make an easy, quick little, I guess, power or not power. What am I thinking of? Come on, Rob, give me a word. What am I thinking
Code?
of? Yeah, like a code or just like a little abilities modifier that you can put onto your character sheet and then take it off. Kind of like when you use for ring of protection or cloak of protection, shield of.
Oh yeah, you can do like an AC2 like or like this, like that. And uh that's another legitimate way to look really quick to see if you have your shield. Because if you're looking on the combat tracker and here on example druid you have a code that says shield AC2. God damn it! I cannot lift up on that shift key fast enough to get the. uh, so if you saw that there, rather than going to your inventory, you're like, oh, inventory. Let's find the and keep in mind that your inventory is going to be like 40 things in there. Most characters have a lot of stuff. Look for your shield. See, is it equipped? Oh, carried, equipped, not carried. Rather than doing that, you can just look at the combat tracker and see I have my shield, and then say, oh yeah, shield off or shield on. You would have a thing here that you put it on, put it off, put it on. So that's a legitimate way to do it. Have it be a little faster. The only thing people might have a problem with is DMs tend to not want any codes in the combat tracker that aren't necessary because that thing just gets crazy and you've seen paragraphs on people and you're like, which one of these fucking codes? So some DMs might complain, I'd rather you do it the equipment way, here like this, rather than have a code there. But the ideal thing would be if he could include a thing where if you change to two-handed, it takes your shield off. Again, I will mention that you might have some special feat. He might have thought of that and didn't, and ultimately decided not to do it because
The coding didn't work or something like that.
no, because if you had a feat, let's say you had a feat that existed, some Fakakta feat that let you fight two-handed and have a shield, then this would take your shield off, and you'd be like, oh fuck, how do I? And it would like override it, and it wouldn't be good. So I don't know that there is a feat like that, but there probably will be eventually.
Yeah, Bob brought up a good point. Like just a checkbox that lets you zero the shield bonus, like next to the weapon or something. Like you're using the battle
Yeah,
axe, and as soon as you switch to two-handed, you could just be like, okay, two-handed. Click the little box to say that my shield is not going to be equipped or whatever, and then
right. I love it that everyone's attitude is try to do everything that's automated. So
not
eventually,
possible.
yeah, well, no, but make it so automated that eventually how you play Fantasy Grounds is you just sit at your computer with your arms crossed across your chest and just you don't ever have to push any buttons. It's all done, it's just all automated. All you have to do is load the program and go, I want to move. Voice command. Uh, I'd love to have the shield show up in the weapon section. Oh yeah, yeah, okay. If you have to equip it. Yeah, like this extension here. This is an extension called um, abilities action, and it puts all. Normally these things are not here.
And
Um,
we should probably just say for the disclaimer that apparently Diablo Bob is just fucking lazy.
he's just lazy.
Just so
Yeah,
lazy.
the guy that made the guy that spends 14 hours a day programming the critical essentials. Yeah, he's lazy. I consider myself to be pretty lazy too, but whenever I say that, people go, "Oh yeah, you have 60,000 things on the DM's Guild and you're lazy," and I'm like, "Well, but I am lazy. I do all that so that I don't have to do shit once and then I don't have to do it again." Um, but yeah, this little neat extension called and we've talked about this before, called it's called the way I remember it is it's your abilities on the actions tab. So the name of the extension is Action Abilities or Abilities Action. Fuck, I don't know. Let's look. Is it called action abilities? Here it is right here. 5E action
5e
abilities.
action abilities.
And it would
5e
it
underscore action underscore abilities.
yeah. And
You
that
gotta say
would
the whole
be you
title.
have to say the whole thing. And if they had like a little button here that showed is your shield on or not. But I mean that, it depends on who. I guess the most logical person to ask about that would be this. But again, if I were the maker of that extension, I would say no, I don't want to do that because if that'll override the possibility of or well, no, never mind. Forget I said that because yeah, if you just have a little button here that shows shield or not
But from there, I mean, can't you just click the plus sign on the AC and then toggle off shield? Doesn't that give you the option?
from where now?
From the top where it says AC, you click the little plus sign.
Oh, no, you can't click on this or do anything with it. You can roll initiative. Yeah, you can only roll. You can roll all these. You can roll. That's what those are there for. It's kind of
But
a.
you can like
It's
click and
kind of a.
adjust.
It's kind of a sort of an alternate version for this, right? Because if you have these here, you can roll all these. But this is for this extension here is for DMs to request rolls, and but players can the reason this was invented is so you didn't have to switch back and forth here and here all the way back and forth, or go to your skills tab and then back and skills tab and back, because I'm willing to bet that most players who play Fantasy Grounds, they leave their character set on the actions tab. This is where this is where your spells are, your feats, everything that you have coded, your attacks. So you mainly play on this tab, and then sometimes you go here to roll initiative or to do a check or save, or you go to your skills tab here, but you always come back here. And with this extension, you don't need to go anywhere. You do for skills, but for checks and saves, they're all right there, and initiative as well. So yeah, the AC doesn't allow you to change anything or do anything. But yeah, the principle on what you're talking about is that you can go here and go to your AC here, and then you can take your shield out. But the easiest way to because if here, let me open that again, because I don't have a shield equipped. But let me clear off some of this stuff so we can see clearer. So you see shield is 0 there, but if I put the shield on, shield goes to 2. So you can do it there. And that's probably the best way I want to do it, because if I have the shield on and I change this to 0, it'll do it, but it still tells me I have my shield on, so that's going to screw stuff up. It goes back if you click around, though. If you click around again, it
So
puts it to 2.
basically, we need somebody, not me or you, but somebody needs to make an extension for shield use.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
apparently there's a market for it now.
right, but this gets crazy. I mean, having 45 extensions in here, and I use, out of these 45, I use probably 40 of them. Not all for different games, like the combat timer. I only use that for Battle Royale. I don't use it for other stuff. But a lot of these things get used in almost every. I mean, I don't have an extension here that I don't use. I went through and deleted all the ones, and there have been ones where I've used them and then I say, okay, I don't need that anymore. Also, sometimes extensions are so good that the developers of Fantasy Grounds just go, yeah, let's just include that, and then you don't need the extension anymore. That's happened about more than a dozen times. All right, so guys, if you have any other questions, go ahead and put them in the chat now. Also, if you have questions about anything else Fantasy Grounds, feel free to ask those. I think Stalker, or however the hell he spells it, should include the shield bit. Yeah, well, you guys know what to do. Get on Fantasy Grounds forums. My suggestion is
ask him nicely.
Yeah, start your request with, "Hey, this is so awesome," and then add, "Could you put a shield thing?" Because I'm sure that since he's got the framework structure for that extension, it's probably not that hard to add. Especially if it's just like a note or, a little tick mark or whatever. So let's give away another prize. How about that? Because that's how we do it. So George won his prize. Let's see. Let's reset. We'll do keyword Rob 2 again, because that's how I do. We'll run a timer and huh?
You mean lazy? Because it's already there.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm
also,
just kidding. I love you, Rob.
Free advertising. I know. I love you too. So yes, everybody's entering, and then this will be again for any prize that's on the DM's Guild. So we're talking about like 100 different items, whether it's a collaborative effort or just something I did myself, but no packages.
I love you, man.
Oh, snap. Digital Prophet has subscribed. Thank you, Digital Prophet. Thank you, ma'am or sir or cisgender attack helicopter. I don't know what's happening. I'm an ally. I'm totally LGBTQ and gender fluid and all this other stuff. My problem is sometimes you don't know what you're supposed to call somebody, and so I like to have that either be obvious or the person tell me what you need to be called. But you can't tell by people's names. Digital Prophet, that could be anything.
Yeah, but he prefers sir.
Yeah. Oh, he said sir. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say before he said that the likely based on my demographics that I can look at for YouTube, it's more than likely a male from the United States that I'm talking to, but it's not always true. Should have a lazy man's recommendations for extension show.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea.
I liked helicopter. You can call me that, Edelchin. All right, 20 seconds, everybody, which is really like 5 for you. Let's see, what is the difference? 33, 17. Yeah, so there's a 14-second delay. All right, and then we'll give away a prize, and it's going to be so awesome. So I told Fury before we started, it probably won't be that long of a show. It's still going to be an hour. I thought it was going to be like 20 minutes.
This is like our normative, that, and we spent like the good 15 minutes setting up and figuring out, our shit's expired, we need to update.
Yeah,
and
right. The first 20 minutes of the show was getting the show started, which, but whatever, we don't care.
It's not.
Oh my God, I deleted it. No, I'm just kidding. It's right here. Okay, let's pick a winner. The winner is, boom, attack helicopter. That's what they said I could call. Very good, Edelchin. So PM me in Discord. Let me make sure.
Or maybe I don't see his name come up or something.
What do you mean?
He's new. Well, I've never seen his name before.
No, I haven't either. So there's the link for Discord. Get in my Discord and send me a personal message. And same thing as George Orr. Just say, hey, I won on the show tonight. And then once you do that, I'll give you a link that'll get you all hooked up. Very good. So gave away a couple prizes.
To new people.
Imparted some information. And thanks for being a follower, by the way, before winning anything. I do love it when that red thumbs down comes up, though, and we make fun of the person. That's always fun.
You mean peer pressure them to follow?
That's right. Like, don't win shit and not follow, dude. Come on, like that.
Not that, you have to follow to win shit. Obviously,
Right.
you can not be a follower and win shit and still be not a follower at the end of the show. But,
Right.
Rob appreciates it.
That's right. And I always usually do say that when we make fun of the person. I say, you still get your prize. You don't have to follow. You still get your prize. But, do the right thing and follow.
And join the Discord.
And join the Discord and be a member of the community that is so awesome. And speaking of which, by the way, don't forget, everybody, especially if you're new, I'll put another link here in the channel, FGC, which is our other co-host, Leroon, that isn't here tonight. He founded the Fantasy Grounds College, and that's a place that you can go and take free classes and talk about. They have 4,000 members. My Discord only has 500, but they got 4K people over there. And always somebody ready to help you answer questions. And they also have free classes where you can learn how to do combat, you can learn how to do DMing, you can learn about maps, and there's all kinds of stuff over there. So
basically, you can learn to not be a lazy player.
Right. And to do things the right way. So there's a lot of options. Fantasy Grounds is a super complicated program that you can do things many, many ways, and so there are some best practices that I try to instill in all my players, and I worked with Leroon on some of their programming. I'm not I don't teach classes over there, but I have helped with building the curriculum on some of those classes to make the sort of things. I mean, out of the hundreds of thousands of people that play with Fantasy Grounds, it's nice to be consistent and to have sort of certain best practices that you can look for in DMs and players all across the thing. And that way, when you put together a game with 5 strangers, you hope that everybody's doing things the same way and that you don't have to stop and explain stuff. So it's just nice to have a consistency with that. You're +3. Oh my God. So so let's see. You're 11 hours ahead of us. So if it's 7 o'clock here, it's 6 in the morning where you are. Wow. That's crazy. Thanks for being up and watching the show. By the way, you can always find out, or you can always watch episodes of this show on YouTube after we record them. So, Attack Helicopter, in regards to your time zone, they do try to cater to Europe. And yeah, as Diablo Bob says, there is an EU FGC, so look for that. Ask them about that, because they really want to. There's definitely a lot of RPG players in Europe and in Brazil and in some Australia and New Zealand and all different. I mean, probably everywhere, but there's heavy concentrations in those countries that I mentioned. And the UK in and around there, Spain, France. There's a lot of players, so you could probably find classes that are on those time zones if you ask them about that. Plus anybody will usually, like I'm what's funny is I've been known to pop into the Fantasy Grounds College Discord and give away prizes in what is for me the middle of the night, like 3 a.m. And then all the European people get those, and the people in the US are like, dude, what are you doing that shit in the middle of the night for? And I'm like, it's not in the middle of the night for the Europe people.
Because you care.
Because I care. I'm a worldwide guy. Even though for about the last 2 months I've been going to bed at like 11:30, lame.
Like an old person.
Right. I'm the guy who, I was a stand-up comic for 15 years, and basically since I was in my early 20s until about this year, I was always the guy that stayed up till 3, 4, 5 in the morning and then got up at noon. And lately, and I don't have any reason for this except for, yeah, I'm just old now. I'm going to bed at like 11:30 and getting up at 7:30 in the morning. And then, I got to eat dinner at 4 p.m. and go down to the senior buffet. I don't know what's going on, but my sleep pattern kind
Hey,
of
hey,
changed.
don't knock senior buffet. I mean, first of all, you're paying a cheaper price, and secondly, you're getting the stuff while it's still fresh and hot.
And I've always been that
Not that I
guy.
care.
That's right. And it sounds like what are you in you're in your early 30s talking about that.
I'm
You're
cheap,
you're
whatever.
you're preparing for for the next 50 years. Uh yeah, if I could sleep 3 or 4 hours a day and get away with that, I would. Cuz I live a stress-free life, which I like. I tend not to stress out almost about anything, but there is always something to do on my to-do list. So if I could sleep 3 or 4 hours and get away with it, I would do it. But I have health issues and I need 8 hours of sleep, and that's what they tell me. And I take those 8 hours. I mean, it's pretty cool though. The reason my sleep schedule is weird because I I set an alarm on my phone to beep, hey, go to bed at 11:30. Don't forget, go to bed. And if I go to bed at 11:30, I don't set an alarm to wake up. I never do. And I always wake up like exactly after 8 hours sleep. It's the weirdest fucking thing in the world. It's never been like that. So yeah, but I got the Sleep Number bed now, and there's an app on my phone that tells me like what my heartbeat is at night and how many breaths a minute I'm taking and all this other shit. It's fucking crazy.
To make sure you don't die? God.
Yeah. Well, the nurse, I get a nurse. My insurance company sends a nurse to my house once a year. They do like just a routine checkup. And she was just here the other day. As a matter of fact, she was showing me an exercise. Her name's Heidi. She was showing me an exercise, and she went to go kick her foot, and she kicked a fucking end table and upended the whole thing in my house. She was so embarrassed. It was awesome. I wish I had a video of it. Um, but she told me, um, have you ever had yourself tested for sleep apnea? And I go, well, no. And I go, what is that? And she goes, well, it's when you stop breathing while you're sleeping. And I go, oh, fuck. And I said, no, I've never been tested. And I said, but here, I can tell you this. And I got my app out and I opened it and I pushed the Sleep Number thing. And it tells me last night when I slept, I had 19 breaths per minute. And she goes, oh, well, that's actually kind of high. So you don't have sleep apnea. You should, when you're sleeping, you should be breathing 14 to 16 times a minute is average for a human, and mine's around 19 or 20 every night, so I actually breathe more. But my heartbeat when I sleep is usually around 68 or 70, and so yeah, it's kind of cool. I don't know how the fuck it does it. I get out of bed, the light comes on. It's weird. This is an expensive bed, I will tell you, but it is very nice for me. And that's about when I started sleeping. Since I got that bed is when I wanted to go to bed at 11:30 at night and get up at 7:30 in the morning. I don't know what's happening. I could change it if I want, but I think it's good because we all need a healthy Rob Toohey to keep doing these fucking shows.
Yeah,
Oh,
we prefer it. Yeah, it's helpful. You
we
keep your voice and everything.
you prefer it?
Well,
Awesome. That's
yeah, I
amazing.
mean, if you're sick and you feel like shit, then you kind of play like shit. And it's like, it's not really working for us tonight, Rob. Go home, get some
Right.
sleep.
Well, I was a stand-up comic, and not every show that I had was perfect. So I understand that sometimes it doesn't work very well, and you gotta fuck. Okay, next time. Um, Sleep apnea can cause brain hemorrhage. Yeah, I don't have sleep apnea. I since I had my surgery and I gained so much weight, I do wake myself up snoring. But it's only if I sleep on my back, and if I wake myself up with a snore, I just turn over. And I hate that I snore. I never was a snorer my whole life, and now I do because I've gained so much weight. And I hate that because any roommates I've ever had, or luckily any girlfriend I ever had, what didn't snore. If they did, I didn't know about it. But I can't stand the sound of snoring. Even if I'm awake and I have a roommate who's asleep in their bedroom, and I'm out in a different room watching TV, and they're snoring while they're sleeping, innocently just trying to live their life sleeping, snoring makes me crazy. And so the fact that I do it just makes me so mad. But if I wake up with a snore, I just turn over my side and it goes away and I go back to sleep. And then the sleep app tells you, here's how long it took you to fall asleep. Here's the times you got out of bed. Like, you get up to pee in the middle of the night, there's a red line that says you got out of bed. And then there's other little yellow lines that say, here's where you might have tossed and turned for a few minutes or whatever. And it tells you, like, how much restful sleep you got. It's pretty amazing. I snored myself mad. You're right, Drake. Good thing I live alone now, and mine is not classified snoring anymore. It's a roar. Damn. Yeah, I live alone too. That's how I do it now. It's not necessarily by choice, but oh yeah, I do live alone by choice. That is true. It's everyone else's choice though, not mine. That's a funny joke. I just thought of that right now. All right. What else? Is that it?
I think that's it. Oh my god, we finished the show.
It's over. We didn't devolve into 14 hours of talking
Cheer
about
bits.
sleep number beds.
Cheer bits in the stream. Thanks for the
cheer
cheer
bits. Drake takes cheer bits. Thank you, sir, Bit Boss. I happen to know Drake is a dude. Drake takes is now the Bit Boss. Drake takes Bit Boss. I see what you did there. You made your name 3 years in advance just for this one moment right now. That's awesome. What happened? I went to a wrong screen there. Oh, I know. Let's go to the slides. Let's just do that. Let's let everybody
Talk about what happens during the week.
Yeah. Oh, and as a matter of fact, we'll just change. This is a good time to change the slide for all things Fantasy Grounds. Oh, and also remind everybody that next week on our show, we will be having Joe Numbers. Joe 813210 is going to be our guest next week. And this was his idea. He said, hey, why don't you do a show about the options menu? And here, let me bring back everybody so they can see this. He said, why don't you do a show about the options menu? And I said, well, as a matter of fact, Joe, our very first show number 1, was about the options menu. And he said, yeah, I know, but so much has changed. So why don't you do it again? And I said, well, are you going to come on? You going to come on and help me explain it? And he goes, I sure will. So he'll be here next week, and we'll talk all about the options menu here in Fantasy Grounds, which is awesome. And there has been, since last year, there's been a few changes. So we'll go through all that again, and that should be fun. And then we don't have a subject for the 17th, but on the 24th, Diablo Bob will be our guest, and he will be talking about Critically Awesome Essentials, which right now has the one-click druid part of it that people have seen if they've watched any of our games. You can play a druid in Fantasy Grounds, and you can do your shift with the one click, and it does all the stats and everything. It's fucking amazing. So we're going to talk about that. And then a few weeks down the road, May 12th, we'll go over Ghosts of Saltmarsh, because that comes out on Friday the 10th. Actually, the release date is the 21st of May, but Fantasy Grounds always gets things 11 days before street date, so we'll get it on Friday the 10th. And then Sunday the 12th, we'll go open it up, show everybody the thing, talk about it. Should be cool. Meantime, we'll figure out some ideas to do. That's quite a ways away. That's like 8 weeks away. So join us next week, though, and we'll do Options Menu Revisited. So that should be fun. Meanwhile, I will go to here. You guys can watch how I do this. I go to Photoshop. I open it up. This is. Oh, you know what? I can't change it yet, because a lot of times I do. Well, okay, I'm gonna close this. My bad. I can't change that until I upload it to YouTube. So then I gotta upload it to YouTube, then change it. So that's my bad. That's the only slide that I don't change during the show, because normally I have a Twitch slide, which is an advertising slide, like, hey, the game's Friday at 6, and then I have a YouTube slide, which is, hey, this was episode 11. But in the case of the Sunday show, those slides are one and the same, so I can't change it till after I upload to YouTube. So let's go back to the slides.
Talk about Battle Royale. Remind people.
Yeah, I'll remind people. So we did this Sunday show, and then Fridays we have Joe Numbers, the guy that's going to be with us next week. He DMs Fury Deny in Mad Mage. Saturday's Battle Royale, so we've got one this Saturday. If you want to sign up, all you have to do is get a hold of me and let me know, and I'll tell you what to do. What this is it's D&D 5e, but it's atypical. So it's it's player versus player in an arena death match, which is not what you normally play D&D like. There is what do I want to say here?
How did it get last night? What happened last night? Let's do a recap.
Last night, Diablo Bob was the DM, so I got to play. We played 2 games because they were really fast. I lost both. Thank you. And
That was fast. Okay.
yeah, and I'll go here to D&D Beyond and show everybody. There's 15 characters that we use for Battle Royale, and hello, how they fucking changed all this. Whoa. My characters, here it is. And they're already pre-generated and they're balanced out for play. So they're all 4th level characters. There is how do you okay, so there's a warlock, a cleric, a druid, a wizard, a fighter, a paladin, a monk, a rogue, a sorcerer, another paladin, a barbarian, another cleric, a ranger, another bard, and another bard. So there's 15 characters that you can choose from, and we do a draft, and then anybody before the game can go and look at these, like you can go and look at the character and see all the things it has on D&D Beyond. You don't even have to have a D&D Beyond account or anything. You just go look at these, see what they have and everything. And then we have a draft, and you pick the character that you want, and then we have an arena battle, and it's fucking awesome. And it is I just have to remind people that it's not D&D. It is D&D, but it's, normally when you play D&D, there's a DM and there's a group of people who are all trying to help each other and go through a story and, like, kill the big bad guy. But this is where you try to kill each other, so it's pretty awesome. And we've had many games. We did it last year, and then this year we've had, I think, 7 games. And I'll even show you the stats for it. So if any of you are interested in doing this, all you have to do is come sign up. And all you need is a demo license for Fantasy Grounds. You don't have to pay. It's all free. It's kind of like the Wednesday night game where you can come. This is the Wednesday night roster, where we have like pickup basketball, only instead of sports ball, it's D&D, and you can come and just play D&D uninvited. You can just show up and play. But here's the Battle Royale stats. So we've had 7 games. The orange means that I wasn't the DM. So Diablo Bob is orange. That's who DM'd this. And I DM'd the first 5. And, Diablo Bob, the reason he's DMing is because he won 4 fucking out of 5. He won 4 out of 5 because he's a fucking monster. So, and then you get points. And as soon as we get like 8 people with 8 points, we have a giant match and call it Battle Bowl. And I give away like a real world prize. So it's fun. And so, yeah. So you can come and get involved with that. And if you don't know how to get involved and you want to get involved, just get in Discord and get a hold of me, and I'll tell you what you have to do. People that have played before, all they have to do is say they want to be in the game that weekend. But if you haven't played, there's some hoops you have to jump through and some things you need to know about the rules and everything. And so there's a whole survey. I'll even put the link in there now. Battle Royale. Is this it? Yeah. So this is the survey that you have to fill out if you haven't played. So if anybody's interested, just go there. And if you fill out this questionnaire, it'll send me a message and I'll get you in the game. And that's it. That's as simple as that. Okay. So let's go back to the slides. So yeah, Monday is module creation where I do modules. Wednesday is 5e pickup games. Anyone's welcome to come and either watch. The other thing too, not with Battle Royale, but with the Friday game and the Wednesday game, even if you're not in the game, you can come here to the channel where you are now in the chat and use your XP to influence the game. So you can buy players healing potions. You can throw traps at them. You can throw monsters in there. You can, if you think everyone's going to die, you can buy the players a short or long rest. You can resurrect somebody. I mean, it's crazy. Some of the things that you would do with your XP in the chat are expensive, so you have to have been watching for a while. But all of you right now are gathering XP. If you type exclamation XP in the chat, you'll see how much you have. And if you want to know all about the GP and the XPs in the Rob Tui channel, one of our Fantasy Grounds talk shows on on YouTube was called Rob Toohey Chat Economy, so you can go learn all about that. Let's see. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday and Thursdays are off. Wednesday, Friday. Yeah, that's it. That's everything. And if you enjoy Miss Furied Fate, as everyone does, she is in the Friday game. So you can come and listen to her.
When I'm awake, yeah.
Fall asleep at the end. It's very late for you. It's from 6. Well, no, you live in Texas, so it's from 8 to 11 p.m. her time. So she's very
but then
tired.
Again, I do work. Yeah, that last hour I'm like killing myself unless I take a nap, which is very highly recommended.
It's recommended. I took one today.
It's recommended.
Right before the show.
I miss that. I miss as an adult that we don't have mandatory nap times anymore.
What would also be nice as an adult is with the mandatory nap time, you also get milk and cookies.
Oh, that would be nice.
Which, as an adult, we have full control over. We can all sleep whenever we want. We can all go get milk and cookies at the store. It's not something that we don't have access to.
Well, no, I can't do that at work. They kind of frown upon that.
Milk and cookies or sleeping?
Sleep.
Yeah.
I can have all the milk and cookies I want, but sleeping, not so much.
I sleep at work all the time, but I am not working for a corporation. Yeah. Right. I'm not working for the man like I used to. I only work for me. And so there you go. All right.
Enough about us.
That's all about us too. Yeah, and by the way, that sometimes you get sometimes with this show you get more than you bargained for, because we go over the material and then we spend 20 minutes talking about just personal crap, and then we get comments all the time like, hey, talk about that more. We should just have a show. We should just have a show that doesn't have any content, and the only thing it is we just talk about our lives. However, if you plan to do that, it's like, okay, 5 minutes has gone by, I'm out. I have nothing else to say.
Or we could do a whole show, Ask Us Anything.
Oh yeah, we should do an AMA.
Within like, limits. Don't be like fucking crazy or lewd.
Let's do that. Let's do that St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day. ATFG at AMA. How about that?
Sounds good. Is that the actual St. Patrick's Day, or is that like...
Yeah, March 17th, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't go out anymore to do that.
I don't go out either. I was never a drinker, which is odd because I got a liver transplant. You would think I would be alcoholic, but no. But March 17th has always just been, I've always just known that's St. Patrick's Day. I don't know why. I'm kind of Irish. So there you go, everybody. You just saw it live. Oh wait, I didn't know they didn't see it because I didn't show it to them, but I'll show it to them.
They heard it live.
Yeah, they heard it, but now they're going to see it. So I put here on the March 17th show, number 58, which is in 2 weeks. St. Patrick's Day. Did I put a comma? That's lame. Commas and periods are hard on the keyboard. They're right next to each other. St. Patrick's Day, ATFG AMA.
Cheerbits in the stream.
Cheerbits.
Thanks for the cheerbits.
Dragon Bait. Thank you, Dragon. Cheerbits. Bitboss. Dragon Bait. Bitboss. So we'll do that. That'll be fun. And that'll be St. Patrick's Day, All Things Fantasy Grounds AMA about nothing Fantasy Grounds, so which will be odd.
They might ask us Fantasy Grounds.
Yeah, it can include Fantasy Grounds, but it can also include anything. And you can say, like, what is the meaning of life? And then we'll say, well, it depends on if you're a fan of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Religious, or something like that.
It all depends. All right,
I don't know. My whole theology thing is based on dogma, so the movie Dogma.
Right. Alanis Morissette is God, yeah.
Yeah, but you can't listen to her.
If you believe in that sort of thing. I don't believe in Alanis Morissette, to be honest with you. I did see her in concert in 1996, though.
Oh, nice. Oh, Drake is asking, are we allowed to show up drunk? Yes, you are allowed to show up drunk.
Yes, in fact, in the audience, if you are a member of the viewing audience, you can be as drunk as you want. If you are a member of a game that I'm running, I will ban you permanently if you are drunk.
What about buzzed? Can I show up buzzed? I'm just kidding. I wouldn't. I might. Maybe.
You should never let me know. That's a fun. Here, let's go back to the video, and I'll go to my Discord channel, and I'll show people. There you are. That's period. Let's see. Let's go here. Let's go to rules. Let's go to rule number 7.
6. Nobody ever does.
Nobody does that. Nobody does this rule. Rule number 6 is read the fucking entire 157-page manual for Fantasy Grounds before you ask me a fucking question about Fantasy Grounds. But I'm pretty lax about that. All right. Rule number 7, I have no tolerance for people who do not have their full wits about them. If you are drunk or high, there is no room for you here. The first time I determine you to be drunk or high, you are permanently banned, even if I'm wrong. So don't risk it.
Whoa.
Yeah. And
Valerian, he's like, wait, FG has a manual. Valerian.
God damn it. Are you serious? All right, here's the he knows there's a manual. Here's the link to the manual.
So
yeah, it's 157 pages, and
Rob can say that he's read it 5 times.
I have not read it 5 times.
More than that?
No, I probably haven't read it like all the way through.
Wait, we can say this. You've read the FG manual more times than you've read the Bible.
That's true. I've read the Bible 1 time, cover to cover. Because I had to fucking check to see what this bullshit was. I mean, I was raised Roman Catholic. Well, I say raised, but from ages 7 to 15, that's it. And then I quickly gave that up, and I was never molested by a Catholic priest, and I'm very disappointed and upset by that, because what's wrong with me? Why wasn't I a target? But yeah, this thing is pretty awesome, and I haven't read the whole thing, but I have read sections of it, and I go to it sometimes. I'm like, what the fuck? But it's got everything you need. And the reason I haven't read it is I've basically everything that's in here I've just learned by playing or by DMing. But I mean, look at this thing. It's got all examples of how every fucking thing works. It's amazing.
I like that. The Bible is like a fan fiction book.
The Bible, well,
technically is, yeah.
I don't want to get into it, but I'm a huge fucking atheist. Everybody knows it. I think that I don't intend to offend the viewing audience, but if I do offend them, I don't really care about that, because my personal belief, and again, I understand that I'm a minority. I'm only about 25% of no, it's about 25% of Earth is atheist. It's
really?
it's it's way more now than it used to be, because people are waking up. But I personally find the idea of an imaginary adult friend to be offensive. I fucking think that you're mentally ill if you believe in any deity. That's just me. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean I can't be friends with you if you are. One of my best friends, as a matter of fact, Tommy, the guy that's going to build my studio, and I've been friends with him for 20 years. He's a literalist. He believes everything in the Bible. He believes that the planet Earth is 8,000 years old. He believes literally every word in the Bible. And he's a fucking lunatic, but he's my best friend. You know, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? We just don't talk about it.
But we can talk about it more on St. Patrick's Day.
Yes, we can talk about religion. You know, all of the subjects that are forbidden in my Discord server, which are religion, politics, and sports. All forbidden subjects because they cause too many arguments. We can fucking go shitballs crazy on St. Patrick's Day. You can all be drunk and ask me questions about the New England Patriots, and I'll tell you they're fucking cheaters, and I hope Robert Kraft dies in hell with hookers. I am not. I said that on Twitter the other day. I said I hate the Patriots, Robert Kraft is a whoremonger. And I personally find whoremongering to be a respectable thing. But aside from that, I'm so glad he's in trouble and all this. I don't know. I'm trying to make a joke. My jokes don't work anymore. Nobody gets me. You get me.
Sometimes.
Sometimes
I'm just polite and I laugh anyways.
Damn it. All right, everybody. I think that's this is going to be on YouTube. People are going to go, what the fuck? This guy's insane.
That last half hour of nonsense.
Yeah, this guy's insane, and she's an enabler. That's what they're going to say. All right, so good. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We really do appreciate you coming to the show. We don't have a show unless there's people watching, so thanks to everybody here. We hope that Leroon feels better, Leroon, and that he gets over his illness. And by the way, I did not do that joke about you last week. I didn't say bad things about you while you were gone.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I should have. I just forgot. But
It's favoritism.
It's favoritism. Yeah, you're my favorite. Out of all three hosts.
Which I could say since he's not here.
Right. Well, but out of all the three hosts that do the show, you're my favorite.
Oh.
I mean, who wants... I don't fucking like me. I mean, come on. I'm just here as a necessity, not because I think people like it. Ignore the word relationship. The limo drive would drive him.
He's talking about what is it, 25% of the world? Does that mean it the world's most predominant religion? What? Yeah, okay. Now I understand why you ignore a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Bob talks nonsense. He's drunk right now.
Valerian Gamer says, been updated since June 17. What? I don't see. I'm lost. I don't know what the fuck these people are talking about.
He's talking about the manual.
The Fantasy Grounds manual. Yeah, they try to update it with every major. So like 3.3, and then 3.3.1, 0.2.3.4, and we're at 7, and we're gonna almost go to 3.3.8. They won't probably really do updates to the manual, but if they went to 3.4, they would do it. And then of course, there's a whole fucking ball of wax about Unity. Like, we haven't even mentioned it. We went an hour and a half and never said the word Unity until I fucking said it.
Until just now, yeah. Way to go, ruin it. Another 3 months added.
But they definitely, of course, there's going to be a whole new manual when that comes out. Fury should play Battle Royale. Robert Kraft lives 2 miles from Drake's. Unity. Just say it. Just type it in the chat. Unity. You don't need to say anything else. Just type it in.
And I would play Battle Royale, except Saturdays is when I spend time with my husband and we do things. We have date night, so.
Yeah, I keep hearing this. People keep saying the word wife or husband, and then also there's this other word people use, children. I don't understand any of it. It's fucking... People have just been
human relationships, yeah.
I have human relationships, maybe. How about this?
Online, do.
On March 12th, I got to drive my sister to the airport at 4 fucking in the morning. There's your relationship right there.
That's just torture.
That is, but she's nice to me.
Okay.
I mean, she's not my real sister. Everybody knows that story, but if you don't know the story about my sister who isn't my sister, then ask me on.
Same as for St. Patrick's Day, yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you then. BA overlaps with Dragon Heist game on. Yeah, Saturday night's a tough spot for people. But date night with FG and Rob Tui. All right, Drake, I expect you to be there. You're going to be my date. I think autocorrect is always drunk. I swear that's true, especially if you have an iPhone. What is the concept family of an alien about? Oh, what is alien about that? Oh, I'm just making a joke. I'm alone and angry and bitter, and I don't have children or a wife, so what do I know? Although the concept of marriage is as equally insane to me as believing in God. I am down for a committed, single, non just one person, what's that called?
Monogamy?
Yeah, I'm down for a monogamous relationship. It's so foreign to me because I need to have 18 girlfriends. No, but I'm down for a monogamous relationship that lasts 40 or 50 years. But the second you tell me I got to sign state paperwork for that, no, that's fucking insane. Never do it. It's just dumb. It's
okay, dumb. And on that note, we should wrap it up.
On the net, Rob Tui crashes the idea of marriage and religion all in the span of 10 minutes. We should just end the show.
Before we get banned, I don't know.
We're not going to get banned. Opinions don't get banned unless they're...
Okay, that's true.
You can't. I mean, I'm sure if we started talking about like how we love the Aryan nation and let's all be Nazis, that probably would get us banned. But I would never say that because that's insane. I'm not a member of the presidential White House.
Oh, I love it.
Fuck that guy too.
All right, guys.
All right, everybody.
Thanks
so much. It is time. We are going to end the show, and hope to see you all back here tomorrow. I'll be doing some module creation Monday, and maybe some of you will want to definitely return on the 17th
Friday,
for your
at least.
personal questions.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
definitely that.
come see us everything. Yeah, the way to remember when my shows are is if it's 6 p.m. Pacific time, UTC -8, then I'm having a show unless it's Tuesday or Thursday. That's how you remember. All right, guys. Good night. And on behalf of Furied Fate, we thank you for coming by. And good gaming, everyone.